Welcome to Notebook, a program of interest to the St. Lucie County community that features information about St. Lucie County schools. Guests include school district and community leaders with focus on children in our community.
Hello and welcome to our latest edition of Notebook. And this is a show where we connect you, our viewers, with community officials, district personnel, and organizations from around the Treasure Coast. And today we have very special guests with us, and we are so happy. They are all ready for the holidays.
Yes.
They look beautiful in their red. But we are so happy to have both of you with us today. And this is Ruth Davis, who is currently serving as our chairperson for the Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee. Alongside of her is Miss Dianne Williams-Johnson, who is the vice chairperson, as well, and she also serves as our transition specialist for the school district as well. So you've been with us many times, and we're glad to have you back. Thank you both for being here this morning. We're excited to hear about all the different events coming up. This is a big time, and a lot of people don't realize how many events are taking place in this week-long celebration of Martin Luther King. So we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But before we do that, we want to find out a little bit about each of you, just to share with our viewers just a little of your background. Ruth, thanks again for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you became the chairperson, even how this led up to being a part of this committee.
Thank you again, Jane, for having us here today. I have been involved with the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee, and I'm just guesstimating. I joined back in 2000, so it is now 2017. So 17 years. I would say in the last 10 years, more active. As to how I became chairperson, it's pretty much a rotated position. Dianne was the chairperson in the previous 2 years, and I was actually second vice chair, but our first vice chair was not able to assume that position. So that is how I became Actually, that's how I became chairperson.
Gotcha. And it's a very, very busy time for you.
Yes, it is.
And then how long have you lived here in Fort Pierce?
All my life. One of the rare natives, of Florida.
Is that right?
Yes.
Very good.
Born and reared right in the beautiful city of Fort Pierce.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. And Dianne, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your background as well.
Well, I'm also a product of St. Lucie County. Born and raised here in St. Lucie County. I love my city. That's why I'm back here working now.
Yep.
And how I became a part of the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee was my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we sponsor the spelling bee, which is a huge event. You all will hear about that later. And maybe about 8 years ago or so, I became the chairperson of the spelling bee. And so after that, I stayed on. I kind of moved up, second vice, at first vice, to chairperson. And now I'm still working hard, but and we are recruiting because we would like some young people to come aboard so that we can kind of sit down in the back. And, so it's a great committee to be a part of.
And having that next generation really begin taking over that tradition.
Yes.
Right, that's so important. Well, I know every year there's a theme to the week, and especially in my background with the school district, we always know that theme, especially when we talk about the parade, and we're going to talk about the parade in a minute. That's a huge event. But can you share with us what the theme is this year and how you came about that as the particular focus of this year's events?
Well, our theme this year, and I'm just so happy with our theme this year, is the color of unity. You may ask, why did we choose that theme? Because it reflects cultural diversity. And so this is how we came to that theme, the color of unity.
Very good. And many of our viewers may not realize all the events that are part of this. It's a full week and it's a very busy week. I'm not sure the two of you probably sleep much during this upcoming time, but let's share about each of the events, and if there's just a little bit that you can share on each one, maybe the background of it, you know, where it's going to take place. These are all open to the public, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And then there are a few of those events also that there are tickets that are part of that in some of the events. So we'll maybe mention those and how to go ahead and have those contacts if someone is interested in participating or attending one of those events. We want to make sure that we hit those as well.
Yes.
So Dianne, we want to start with you. If you'll talk, now it's a week of kindness is really what the focus is.
Yes.
And each year it's a week-long commemorative celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King. And this year it's going to be January 5th through the 12th. That kind of starts us off, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so Dianne, kind of start us off and just share a little bit about those events, and then we'll kind of back and forth and have you two share those.
Okay.
Well, the Week of Kindness is sponsored by the ladies of the Charmettes Incorporated, which I am a member.
Yeah.
And this event, you know, we call on all community leaders, you know, we ask the schools, the churches, and all to get the students involved, the youth involved, and ask that they reach out to someone that week, lend a helping hand, let someone know that they care and they want to help them. Chores, not just regular chores at your home, because you're supposed to be doing chores anyway. Maybe the neighbor, go out and cut their lawn at no cost, or take out the trash for the elderly. And it's a huge competition also, and almost every year FK Suite wins.
Is that right?
And we do read each and every entry. It's the Sunday night before, we're sitting at someone's table going through all of the things that were submitted about, from the students.
Right.
And you know, long time ago when it was the St. Lucie County Charmettes, it started, I think, with Mr. Havard Finn. It was his vision, and his wife was a Charmette at that time, and they just picked it up. You know, he asked the Charmettes to sponsor it, and the Charmettes has been doing it for, I think, over 20 years, or at least 20 years at least, and it's an awesome event to get the whole community involved.
Right.
Yes.
And something just as simple as, you know, opening the door for someone, just saying something kind to them,
Yes.
just looking out for others, and that's so valuable. So Ruth, if you'll kind of take us through the opening reception.
Yes, thank you. The opening reception is the most important of all the events because it's the kickoff.
Right, right.
And so we invite our community as a whole. We want our state officials, our local officials, we want them all to come together and embrace us for this event. So that will be held at the Indian River State College Cobogard Student Union, and the time is 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and that is hosted by Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporation.
Very good. And Indian River State College has sponsored this for many years.
Yes.
And we always appreciate Dr. Massey's support
Yes.
and all of the community officials that are always a part of this
Yes.
event. That's really, really important in
Really
supporting the
important.
community. So the next one is on Saturday, January 6th, and there's going to be free prostate cancer screening. Dianne, did you want to speak to that?
Ms.
just
Davis,
very quickly?
she's a nurse.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Miss Ruth is a nurse.
Yes,
Yes.
I am a
Retired nurse.
registered
Yes,
nurse.
there we go.
And my specialty was critical care.
Very good.
I'm so happy that we have incorporated the free prostate cancer screening this year because it's so important for our male,
Right.
Especially between the ages of 40, as early as 40, to get their prostate screening exam or their PSA. So this is something that's going to be held at the Hands Clinic, and the time is 8 a.m. in the morning, and it's hosted by Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporation.
Very good. Very good. And just kind of off the note for just a second, where did you serve as a nurse?
As far as facilities, I worked at Lawnwood Regional Medical Center for 26 years. And then I've also worked at Indian River Medical Center there per diem.
Very
so
good.
I have over 30
years of experience
37
there.
years, and I know I don't look it.
No, I would have never guessed that
But
one.
I am. It's something that you have to have a passion for.
It really is. It really is. That's not an easy job for sure. So let's head to the next one. And on Saturday, Saturday, January 6th, Dianne, if you'll speak to the Youth Symposium and just share with us a little bit about that.
Okay, the Youth Symposium is sponsored by the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, where they reach out to the churches, to different youth groups within the fraternities and sororities, inviting the youth out that Saturday morning, and they always have a very nice setup, layout. Their focus as we prepare for the future. This is like pathways to life, and they have guest speakers talking about different careers, and it's just an awesome, awesome event. And they have they always have special topics. I don't know what it is. The flyer is out.
Yeah.
But one year they had a young lady from Vero Beach. I think she was a dean, and she talked about the cyberbullying and the things with Facebook. And so they not only do they go through the careers and talk about life and things, but they always have some little nice little plug they would put in to educate the kids as to what is happening in our society today. And as you know, our kids are facing so many things that we've never had to face, and they're challenged with so many things. So, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what they have. And I think this year they brought on Dr. Tamia McEwing. She's down now working at St. Lucie West Centennial High School, I think, and she's fairly new to our community. Been here maybe about 4 years, but she's an awesome young lady. So I'm looking forward to see what taste she's added to this program this year.
Very good. Very good. And the next one I know you oversee. So talk to us about the spelling bee. And I've had the privilege of working with you with the spelling bee for several years, and just it's so much fun. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, this year is going to be the first year that the spelling bee is not held on a Friday night. It's going to actually be held on the same day of the Youth Symposium, but later in the day. The spelling bee is for students that are in grades 4 and 5 in St. Lucie County Public Schools. And I would like to say that this is also a big event, and it's really important to work with these children. The first practice last month, there were about 81 parents and students to show up for the first meeting and the practice. On last Wednesday, it was a little over 50, but you know, people have different activities and things, and if the parents' schedule don't permit, then the kids can't get there because they have to have a parent present with them. And it's going to be at Lincoln Park also from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. And as you know, this event is sponsored by the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And it's a huge event every year, and we really enjoy working with the students. They are great spellers. I think the longest rounds we've had was like 19 rounds one year, and you were not the pronouncer that year, but
not on that
but
one.
you've been there and you've done that with us, so you understand. And the kids are so anxious, and I do know for a fact that St. Lucie Elementary, they had their coach, and to my understanding, they're all coaching the kids for like 30 minutes when they get off the bus. As they're walking around, the teachers know who the contestants are from their school, and they're just coaching.
Practicing their words.
And they were the most nervous kids the other night, the St. Lucie kids. And I was like, well, you're going to do fine. So they're all great spellers, and we're just honored, and it's a privilege to be able to work with the 4th and 5th grade students for a couple of months. So we don't just see them on the day of the spelling bee. There are practice sessions and parent meetings, and you know, working up to that day. So we're honored to be a part.
And what I love so much is how you have incorporated the whole community as part of this celebration. And it's, you know, really embracing the school system and so many other organizations that you bring together during this time. It's just, it's
really
so,
good.
thank you so much for all your work. Yes, it's a lot of work. So the next one, the ecumenical service. Ruth, if you'll speak to that and just tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, our ecumenical or lay interfaith service, one of my favorite services because it's interdenominational. This is the service where we have people of all faiths that come together. My vision has been to empower the pastors in our community, because I know that there are 275 churches in the beautiful city of Fort Pierce. Wow. So that's the goal, is to get them, to empower them to come out and be a part of this ecumenical service. Right. This year it's going to be held at Miracle Prayer Temple, and the time is 6 to 8 p.m. And of course, I'm the contact person.
Right. And it would be wonderful to see all 275 churches represented.
Oh,
that would be, what a goal that would be.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And I know before the show you had mentioned the candlelight service. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yes. Our Candlelight Peace March and Unity will be held Monday, January the 8th. And that is hosted by Phi Beta Fraternity. And this is basically a march where we will march from the historic Lincoln Theater, which is located on Avenue D. We will march there with our songs, We Will Overcome, etc., to the church where the next event will be held.
And Simi Burns is
our
good friend Simi Burns.
Contact, yes. Yes, he is, and his number's listed.
Okay, and we'll be able to share all of this maybe one more time at the end, so we'll kind of highlight it again just to do that at the end of the show. And then on Monday, January 8th, we have the NAACP ceremony.
Yes.
Okay.
And that, of course, is all about civil rights and freedom. That's going to be held this year at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, where I am a member. That begins right after the candlelight, as we proceed to march to the church. The ceremony itself will begin at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the contact person is Betty Barnes. And of course, this is hosted by the St. Lucie County NAACP.
Okay, very good. And then on Saturday, January 13th, we have the awards breakfast, and that's also held at Indian River State College. Diane, you want to speak to that one?
But before I speak on that, I just have to make a correction. That Candlelight March is sponsored by the men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Simi Burns would just get me if I didn't say that correct.
But he would remind us very quickly.
I left the men out.
There you go.
But on Saturday morning is the awards breakfast, and it is sponsored by the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And they also just have a nice program. And for the past several years, they've been highlighting the youth.
Yes.
From the orchestra in Gifford, the Gifford Orchestra, to, the youth in the Greek sororities and fraternities, and they always honor and recognize and within the community. And I think this year, I'm not really clear, but I think they're probably going to be recognizing presidents or leaders in our local organizations. I'm not sure, because there's someone that I know, I don't know if she has, I know she's being honored, but my sorority's president is being honored that morning. So I'm not sure, or, one year they did the custodial staff at the schools, they honored them, cafeteria workers, so they're just awesome in recognizing everybody, no matter how big or how small. But that's a great group of women of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and that was Kathy's sorority.
Aww.
Yes, so they're awesome.
And if I may add to what Diane said, they're showcasing another organization. It's called ENDIT. What that stands for is Everybody's Not Doing It. So I know they're going to be showcasing them, because their focus is always the youth, and they do such a phenomenal job. So I just wanted to add that.
Very good. Glad you shared that. And then I see there's a 5K marathon.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Really excited about our 5K marathon. This is hosted, I am a member of the Fort Pierce Lions Club, but we partnership with the St. Lucie West Lions Club. We did this last year, and it was awesome. We had over 165 runners.
Wow. Yes.
We anticipate more this year. And it's one thing I like about it, it begins at 6 in the morning. We have to be there. but you're back home in time to go to church or whatever
There
you
you
want to do. But it is such an awesome event, and we were awarded because they have several charities, and Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee is one of the charities.
Right.
So we were awarded 10% of the proceeds.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're excited.
Absolutely.
Again
and
this year.
And for some people that may not know what the Lions Club is, could you share just very
The
quickly?
Lions Club itself, our motto is to serve. Oh, this would take another whole
I know, it could.
but we do so
Yeah.
much in the community.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We work with the Fort Pierce Police Department. We do beach cleanup. We sell onion. We do a lot of community, and we're here just to serve.
Yeah.
That's our main.
And one of the things I remember is the glasses, the eyeglasses.
We do diabetic screening. We do eyeglasses, and we even help those we only help those that need eyeglasses, but not like progressive lens or anything. Just simple eyeglasses. So
right.
We
so
do
we might
collect.
have to have you back just to share a little bit about what the Lions Club does.
Yeah,
because
and I'll bring the president
There you
with
go.
me.
We'll cover that. Because a lot of people may not realize,
Yes.
all of the different services that you provide.
Right, and
it's
we're
such a
so
wonderful-
happy because our membership has expanded.
Right.
We're now over 52 members.
Wow.
And we only had like 30, so we have expanded and
Yeah.
we're out there.
Very
so.
good. Well, we'll
Yeah.
stay tuned for the next show. We'll make sure we do that.
Yes.
So following the 5K Marathon, then we have the grand finale, which is the Grand Parade, which anybody that lives in Fort Pierce,
Yes.
I just encourage you so much, do not miss this event because it's such a great event to watch the whole community come
Yes.
out. Every school is represented in the school district. So,
Yes.
Dianne, you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, as you said, it's very, very huge event.
Yes.
And all of the schools really get into the decorating of the floats and
And
making
the competition
sure.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the competition.
And
Yes.
the cost, like for the general public for floats and all, is $25. I'm not sure about the cost for the schools, but I think it's the same.
Yes.
But as they add on like walking units and cars, the schools are not charged additional money, I don't think. But in the
Right.
general public, you may have somebody say, well, I'm going to do a car, and they want to do a walking unit. But again, all of the schools are invited, all of the churches, civic organizations, sororities, fraternities, everybody is invited to participate in this grand parade. And Miss McCrary, Cheryl McCrary, she's been organizing this parade for years, and she really enjoys. She put her heart, all sweat, tears, and everything into it. But she's so soft when it come down to cutting off that deadline because people are still the night before trying to get an entry in the parade. So, but she's very generous in that department with allowing people, because that's one way that we help with scholarships. And I'm sure you may have a question about that later.
We do.
But the grand parade is something that we all look forward to. Even out in the festival in the parks, and I know you may want to add to it, but the kids that come out, we have different groups performing, and we focus on the youth, but adults can perform as well, but focus on the youth. And the kids around, vendors are in the park selling food, and the people just sit around and socialize and have a really good, safe time.
Right.
And LaShonda Henderson is the contact person for that, with Toinette Bronson being her assistant for contact. So, Ms. Davis, do you have anything to add on
I think you
that?
pretty much covered it.
Well, I know that's a big deal in the school
is.
district, and it's always, we want to get that theme as soon as we can, and then as soon as, I know being at the school sites, it's like we want to be the first ones to get our applications in, and have that time to really plan that amazing float. So that trophy is a big deal at the school district. If you get
Yes,
first
it
place,
is.
I mean,
Yes.
it's really a lot of fun. So the next one on Monday the 15th, that same day, is the Festival in the Park that you had mentioned. And then the final one is Monday as well, is the Health Fair. So Ruth, we'll have you share about that one.
Yes, we're always happy to have our health fair because that is one of the pillars. Our health is so important that we take care of our bodies, and so we have different organizations that are involved. The Lions Club,
Right.
and we do diabetic screening, and then we have Indian River State College. They have their nursing students under Linda Perry.
Wonderful.
She brings her nurse, and they do blood pressures. And then we have other organizations that partner with us to make this health fair successful. So we're always looking for that, and we encourage the community to come and get your blood pressure taken. Come and get your blood sugar taken. And most of the time, they're reluctant to get their fingers stuck.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is important. So that pretty much incorporates our health fair.
Okay. And you can see as you're listening that it's just an amazing week.
Yes.
And just to really, truly celebrate what Dr. Martin Luther King was all about, was
Yes.
bringing people together and touching the next generation.
Yes.
And you're doing a phenomenal job of doing that, and very excited about all of this.
Yeah.
Now, there's one position that is very, very held in high esteem, is to be selected as the Grand Marshal, and for the parade. Can you tell us who the Grand Marshal is this year? Is that a public?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's out there. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We are
So who is our
extremely
marshal?
excited. As a matter of fact, we have 2 Grand Marshals this year.
Wonderful.
They are retired educators. One of the Grand Marshal is Mr. Earl Little, who taught me. And then the other retired educator, is Mr. Vernon Floyd. So we're excited to have 2 Grand Marshals.
Very
I
good.
believe this will be the first time that we've actually
had
had 2. We usually only have 1.
Very good.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, we'll be excited to see that. And then the other thing, Dianne, I want to be sure that we highlight this, and you mentioned it just very briefly at the beginning with the scholarships. And just really explaining how important these events are, but not only for just bringing the community together, but life-changing opportunities that you are providing to students here in St. Lucie County. And through anything that, tickets that are sold or their participation through the parade, there are multiple ways that the community can provide these scholarships. So could you share with us just a little bit? We've got about a minute left.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The funds that we collect in the Festival in the Park and the parade entries help with providing scholarship for the students. And they have an opportunity to go through the Education Foundation on the school district website and apply. They have to write an essay. There's always a theme, and Gertrude Walker, our supervisor of elections, she is the chairperson for that. I had the honor of awarding the student at Treasure Coast High School this past spring, and she was just so excited, and it just brought joy to my heart that she was so excited about receiving it, the scholarship from the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee. And it's just awesome to be able to help buy a book or do something, because books now are so expensive, but we're just pleased to be able to help at least 5 students every year.
Very
Yes,
good.
yes,
Very good. Life-changing opportunities.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for being with us and for sharing all of the events that are going to be coming up. We really want to encourage the audience to be a part of this wonderful celebration.
Yes.
And remember, it's the 34th anniversary of
Yes.
this commemorative celebration, and it's during January 5th through January 21st, and it's hard to believe that we're even talking about 2018 already,
Yes.
because
Oh, yes.
2017 flew by.
Yeah.
And again, the theme is the color of unity, and it really focuses on the life of Dr. Martin Luther King and all the amazing things that he did to change this nation. And we're excited to be able to be a part of this celebration and bringing our community together. So ladies, thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us this morning, and we'll look forward to seeing you at some of these events coming up very soon. And have a happy holiday, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next Notebook. And here comes the new year of 2018. We'll see you soon.